Hello, good afternoon, Doc and colleagues. So my report is the chapter 17, which is the active portfolio management, alternative assets, and industry ethics. Okay, the contents of this chapter are first is investing in stock market, passive and active portfolio management, active management techniques, alternative asset classes, and ethical considerations in investment management, regulatory compliance, and best practices. So first, investing in stock market is a great way to save up for those big things in life, uh, like our kids' education, purchase of house of our dreams, and of course, retirement. Retirement. There are two investment strategies that can we use. First is the active investing and the passive investing. So with passive investing, money is used to buy shares in a group of companies, and this group of companies is called an index. So if these companies collectively do well, so will the index. So and our money will grow because passive investing requires little human intervention and fees are fairly low. So however, as passive investing only matches the performance of an index, our investment does not outperform that index. So on the other hand, active investing means we have a dedicated portfolio manager handling our investments. So active managers want to outperform the index. So ang outperform means to perform better than. So mas higitan pa. So they use the money to buy shares in companies they predict will do well and avoid companies they think will fail. So the manager will try to seek out good investment opportunities to really make our money grow. So the bad news is this doesn't always happen with active investment as there's room for error. So a lot depends on finding a great manager who can pick investments better than the rest. So because active managers are so hands-on, they also tend to charge more for their services. So here are the active management techniques. So active managers employ various strategies and techniques to identify investment opportunities and generate superior return. So first technique is the fundamental analysis. So this involves evaluating the intrinsic value of a security based on factors like financial statements, industry trends, and economic conditions. So, syempre, financial statement para malaman natin yung financial status ng company. So, sa industry trends, so here we check kung nasaang point na siya, market bottom ba or this is the low point is reached or nasa bull market stage na siya wherein it occurs when securities are on the rise and the bear market or this happens when securities fall for a sustained period of time. So, alam din natin yung economic conditions. So, halimbawa, nasa ang stages na siya sa introduction stage, growth stage, maturity stage, or the declining phase. So managers look for undervalued or overvalued stocks and make buy or sell decisions accordingly. So by assessing these factors, so active managers aim to identify stocks that are undervalued or have a strong growth potential. So another technique is the technical analysis. So here we use the historical price and volume data to identify patterns and predict future price movements. So the techniques like trend analysis, chart patterns, and momentum indicators are used to make trading decisions. Next technique is the quantitative analysis. So this employs mathematical model and statistical techniques to analyze large data sets and make investment decisions. So we use the factors like valuation ratios, growth rates, and risk metrics to identify the investment opportunities. Next technique is the sector rotation. So this involves in shifting investment from different sectors of the economy based on the economic conditions. So alam naman natin that sector rotation, ito yung movement ng money invested in stocks from one industry to another. Because investors and traders anticipate the next stage of the economic cycle. So, meron tayong tinatawag na cyclical stocks and non-cyclical stocks, wherein yung cyclical stocks, this tends to perform similarly poor during a recession. So, pag recession, mabababa din yung price ng mga ng stocks or ng bonds na to. So, mga industry under this are yung IT tsaka real estate. Yung non-cyclical stocks naman, assets of the organization that have stable stock prices during a recession. So during recession, hindi bumababa yung prices niya. So halimbawa nito mga consumer staples, healthcare, and utilities. So managers identify sectors that are expected to outperform and underperform and adjust their portfolio accordingly. So market timing. So these attempts to predict market trends and allocate assets accordingly. So managers try to buy low and sell high by anticipating market turning points. So market timing is the strategy of buying and selling securities based on the predictions of future market movements. So yun nga, the goal is to buy low and sell high to maximize the profits. So while it sounds appealing, market timing is notoriously difficult even for professional investors. So next topic will be the alternative asset classes. So alternative investments is a financial assets that does not fall into one of the conventional investment categories. So in conventional categories, ito yung stocks, bonds, tsaka cash. So alternative investments can include private equity or venture capital, hedge funds, managed futures, arts and antiques, commodities, and derivatives contracts. So real estate is also often classified as an alternative asset investments. So alternative assets offer diversification benefits and potentially higher returns compared to the traditional investments like stocks and bonds. So alternative investment. So ito yung mga examples ng mga alternative investments. So first is the real estate. So this includes investments in properties, real estates, investment trust, and real estate related securities. So example ng mga publicly traded companies, ito yung Ayala Land, SM Prime Holdings, wherein they develop and operates shopping malls, residential properties, and commercial spaces. So meron din naman tayong mga real estate investment trust or yung REITs. So merong Ayala Land REITs, SM Prime Holding REIT, Mega World REIT, Philinvest REIT Corp, RL Commercial REIT, wherein they leases commercial spaces, offices, they lease office and commercial spaces. So commodities, this refers to the investments in raw materials such as metals, energy, and agricultural products. So some investments commodities. So this refers to investments in raw materials such as metals, energy, and agricultural products. So the commodities, especially precious metals like golds, tend to appreciate in value during inflationary periods. So some commodities like oil and natural gas can experience significant price fluctuations, leading to high returns. So arts and collectibles. So some investments may double as a hobby. So with arts, sports memorabilia, entertainment memorabilia, high-end watches, or other collectibles acting as an alternative investments. So there are certain art pieces or collectibles that can increase value over time. So ito yung mga examples. Sa fine arts, we have here the paintings, sculptures, and prints. So yan, mga collectibles na nag-appreciate din ng value over time. Sa mga collectible coins, meron kasing nilalabas, 'di ba, si BSP ng mga rare limited edition coins na hindi na, dahil nga limited edition siya kaya medyo pwedeng tumaas yung price niya lalo na sa mga collectors. So stamps, 'di ba, meron din mga rare historic stamps. Rarity comics, mga first editions and signed comics. Meron ding mga nagko-collect ng luxury watches, mga limited edition timepieces. And of course, mga vintage cars, mga classic automobiles na ginawa ah dati. O kaya vintage cars. So, antiques, mga furnitures and artifacts. Mga sports memorabilia, ito yung mga autograph items, tsaka mga game-worn jerseys. Meron ding wines, mga rare vintage wines. So, yun yung mga examples ng arts and collectibles. So next is the hedge funds. So these are privately managed funds that use a variety of investment strategies including leverage, short selling, and derivatives. So they are typically open to accredited investors and often require a significant minimum investments. So they often use leverage to amplify returns, but this also increases the risk. So hedge funds typically charge high fees, including management fee and performance fee to the fund manager. So next alternative investment is the private equity and venture capital. So instead of trading shares of public companies in an open market, so investors may seek alternative avenues to put capital into private companies or startups. So here, the private equity firms invest in established companies with a proven track record. So they may acquire entire companies, merge them with other companies, and buy specific assets within the company. So private equity firms use a variety of strategies, including leverage buyouts, growth equity, and distressed investing. So venture capital naman, here, the firms invest in early stage companies with high growth potential, often in technology, biotechnology, or other innovative sectors. So the venture capital firms provide capital to companies in exchange for equity ownership. So they actively work with management teams to help companies grow and scale. So venture capital investments are high risk, high reward, while some investments can yield substantial returns, but many fail completely. So next alternative investment is the cryptocurrencies. So the emerging form of digital currency, cryptocurrency is seen as an alternative investment as it is outside the traditional scope of stocks and bonds. So though some may claim cryptocurrency does not offer a strong hedge against other risks on investment, it may provide capital appreciation or passive income due to staking rewards. So yun yung mga common alternative investments na pwede nating pag-investan aside sa stocks, bonds, to diversify our portfolio. So next topic is the ethical considerations in investment management. So ethical investing is an investment strategy where the investor's ethical values, moral, religious, and social are the primary objective. So along with the good returns. So with suspicious and illegal investment deals on the rise, many investors are starting to insist that companies may invest in that companies they invest in are socially responsible. So this means treating their employees with respect, creating healthy products and services, and keeping away from unethical business practices. So ito yung mga examples ng mga on how to invest ethically. So first is socially responsible investing, so SRI. So this involves investing in companies that meet specific environmental, social, and governance criteria. So SRI funds avoid investing in controversial areas such as gambling, firearms, tobacco, alcohol, and oil. So here, the investor's moral value is given critical importance in investment selection. So next is the environmental, social, and governance funds or the ESG funds. So unlike SRI funds, the ESG fund consider in their decision-making how environment, social, and governance risks and opportunities can cause material impact on the company's performance. So impact investing. So this focuses on investments that aim to generate a positive social or environmental impact. So impact funds are suitable for investments who are socially responsible but also want good return. Ethical dilemmas. So investment professionals may face ethical dilemmas such as conflict of interest, insider trading, and misrepresentation. So syempre, investment professionals may have personal investments that conflict with their professional duties. For example, an advisor might recommend a particular investments that benefits them personally rather than their clients. Next example is yung usage of non-public information. So insider trading yon involves buying or selling securities based on material non-public information. So gumagamit tayo ng mga non-public information so para tayong nandadaya kasi. So this can lead to significant financial gains for those who exploit this information. So fiduciary duty. So fiduciary duty is a legal and ethical obligation to act in the best interest of another party. So investment managers have a fiduciary duty to act in the best interest of their clients. So in the context of investment management, this means that investment professionals such as financial advisors, mga fund managers are legally bound to prioritize the interests of their clients above their own. So regulatory compliance and best practices. So investment managers are subject to a complex regulatory framework to ensure investment protection and market integrity. So adhering to these regulations and implementing best practices is crucial for maintaining a strong reputation and avoid legal and financial penalties. So here are examples ng mga regulatory requirements. So first is disclosure requirements. So investment managers must provide investors with full disclosure of investment strategies, risk, and fees. So this includes yung clear and concise communication about investment objectives, potential risks, and expected returns. So performance reporting. So investment managers must report on the performance of their portfolios and compare them to relevant benchmarks. So here, this helps the investor to evaluate the manager's performance and make informed decisions. So risk management, investment managers must have effective risk management processes in place to mitigate risk and protect investors. So dito naman, we need to identify, assess, and manage various types of risks such as market risk, credit risk, and operational risk. So next is yung fiduciary duty nga na na-discuss natin kanina. So investment managers must have a fiduciary duty to act in the best interest of their clients. So this means we prioritize the client's needs over our own and making investment decisions that are consistent with the client's investment objectives and risk tolerance. So the last topic will be the best practices in investing. So first is the regular compliance reviews. So we have to regularly comply we need to regularly compliance reviews to reviews compliance regularly, and audits can help identify and address the potential compliance issues. So nakasama dito yung pag-review ng investment policies and procedures, trading activity, and client communication. So staying updated on regular changes. So investment managers must be up to date on the regulatory changes and industry best practices. So this can be achieved by attending uh, industry conferences, subscribing to regulatory updates, and consulting with the legal and compliance experts. So another best practice is to have a strong governance. So a strong governance framework is essential for effective risk management and compliance. So dapat clear yung organizational structure, independent board members, and robust internal controls. And the last practice is the technology and data analytics. So leveraging technology and data analytics can help improve compliance and risk management. So this includes using advanced analytics tools to monitor trading activity, identify potential fraud, and assess market risk. So those are some of the best practices that we can do para we invest ethically. So that's all of my report. Thank you po.